I want the Ferrari. And to be honest, his
Yeah, but
team.
what good does a Ferrari does if you don't know how to drive it?
Alrighty, Alfredo. What do you think? Lamar Jackson a fraud?
Well, Pedro, the question about is Lamar Jackson a fraud? I mean, I would tell you this. You tell me what you think. Throughout the years, Lamar Jackson has been known throughout the league as an elite quarterback. Someone that does everything right, that he's a threat. But here's what happens. And I'm going to answer the question directly to you. Yes, I do feel that Lamar Jackson is a fraud. In my case, what I've been saying for years have been proven, Pedro. And I know you're laughing right now, and you think I'm crazy, but let me throw you some stuff, Pedro.
Go ahead.
Throughout the years, Lamar Jackson has always been known as a great running quarterback. But do you know what happens when the best time, the playoff, comes? What have you seen Lamar Jackson do?
Oh, let's get into the facts. He got them to the playoffs. He went and he got them to the AFC Championship game. Isn't
Well,
that what good quarterbacks do?
yeah, but when the moment comes to it, remember Lamar Jackson that took him to the AFC Championship game. They had the number one seed. Their first playoff matchup was against the Texans. And if we look at his numbers, yes, he had 72.7 completion percentage, only threw for 152 yards, two touchdowns, and his QB rating was 121.8. Right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you this. The game before that, he played against the Dolphins, in which maybe was his most best week when he threw five touchdowns and zero interceptions. But when the moment comes that you play against good teams, you saw it yesterday. He chokes. He's not accurate when he's under the pressure. And the blueprint of stopping Lamar Jackson is blitzing him, forcing him to scramble, to look around. And since he has to do that, inaccurate.
You know what? I'm gonna give you that when it comes to him being inaccurate when he's being pressured. But you know what? That's all quarterbacks. Just about every single quarterback, if you give them enough pressure, they're gonna be inaccurate with the ball. We've seen it with the past with Mahomes. We've seen it in the past with Bills quarterback Josh Allen. In my opinion, those are one of the two best quarterbacks in the league. But if you go into each game and you look, each one of these games, he brings something to the table that nobody else brings. I asked you before, would you rather have a Ferrari in Lamar Jackson, or you want to have that ramming truck like the Bills quarterback Josh Allen? I want the Ferrari. And to be honest, his
Yeah, but
team,
what good does a Ferrari does if you don't know how to drive it?
Alfredo, you have a Super Bowl winning coach. He knows how to drive his quarterback. He knows what to do with a Ferrari. This is the guy that he took Joe Flacco to the Super Bowl and won. Come
No,
on.
I have no problem with Harbaugh. I think
Okay.
Harbaugh is a great quarterback. I mean, a great coach.
Mhm.
He has taken Joe Flacco to the Super Bowl, and for many years they were a team that always contend. But my problem is with his quarterback this year, Lamar Jackson. There's things that you cannot change. People have been saying, "Oh, he's going to get better. That he's going to become more of a natural passer." You
Mhm.
need to be a natural passer with just a straight running quarterback. You're not going to win the Super Bowl. We're talking about winning Super Bowl, not just one playoff game. It's winning Super Bowl.
I get you, Alfredo. Look, to be able to win the Super Bowl, you have to go to the playoffs. And what
Yep.
better way to get to the playoffs is be the number one seed in all of the NFC, the AFC. They beat out just about everybody else, and got to that playoff seed, and they got there handedly. There are very few teams that I could say would have beat them straight up. And you know what? Unfortunately, they got it to a point with Patrick Mahomes, which is one of the teams that could beat them because you can't bet against Mahomes. AFC Championship game, he looks every time he gets there, he wins.
I'm gonna throw you these numbers so you can see Lamar
Mhm.
Jackson playoff percentage. He completes 57% of his passes. Okay, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, takes 26 sacks, and lifetime QB rating in the playoffs 75.7. Does that tell you that he is a clutch playoff type quarterback?
Look, Alfredo, let's be real here. The only thing that I have against Lamar Jackson is one that for the most part he is a running quarterback. Me myself, if I had to pick, I wouldn't pick a running quarterback. But this is the one that we have.
So you're going with
Josh,
my point.
hold on, John Harbaugh took what he got and made him into a star, a superstar. And the second thing that I have an issue with Lamar Jackson is the contract that they gave him. They gave him a contract to be the highest paid player. These are the stats: 27 years old, 6 years in the league, $260 million contract, $52 million a year average, $185 million fully guaranteed, and then he missed 2021 and 2022 a few games, only 12 games played. That's the problem with a running quarterback, that he's going to get injured, he's going to get hit. How many times is a Ferrari going to be in the shop? And when he goes into the shop, it's going to be for a while.
Well, that's why I was telling you. What's the point of having a Ferrari if you don't know how to drive it? And that's a problem. Lamar Jackson, he has a special skill, but he doesn't know how to use it. Yesterday was a perfect illustration that there were moments that he could have scrambled. Talking about this, there was a moment that when he overthrew a wide receiver, and the offensive line gave him plenty of time in certain occasions. But instead, what he did is that he looked around, and he didn't run. So it's not just even the passing, it's even decision making. When it's moments that it's time to run, he doesn't run. And then when he throws, he doesn't throw accurate. So this proves that he's a fraud. He's a chokester. And when the moments gets tougher, you're gonna see him. And I have shown the stats of what he does during the playoffs. He's gonna be the MVP, the 2-time MVP this year. But comparing him to Patrick Mahomes and even Josh Allen, yes, Josh Allen, like I've always said, he's inaccurate. But I would prefer Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson. And let me tell you, and even the other NFC quarterbacks, Jared Goff and Brock Purdy, they're better passers than Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
look at the stats.
If you're going to talk about pure passing, I will give it to you. But he brings a certain element into the game that you can't account for. Defensive
He doesn't
coordinator.
use it. He doesn't use it effectively.
Alfredo, this is what I'm going to tell you. Is just that when it comes to the playoffs, defenses are a lot better when they get into the playoffs. They're not there for no reason. Now, this is something that I think that needs to go into the future, into his vault for the offseason. So he needs to actually go in there and actually think about what happened to him in that game, so it doesn't happen again. And I'm confident that his coach will beat it into his head that this cannot happen again. He's not going to do it again. You've seen him get better and better over time. Now, he's only 27 years old. He can only get better. This is why I think that contract, I wouldn't have given him that kind of contract, but unfortunately, that's the way the league works. He set the quarterback quarterback price for the future.
So, do you consider him a fraud or not?
No, I don't consider him a fraud. I
But
still
then you're
believe.
saying that his contract is too high, that you
I
wouldn't pay him that much money.
No. I wouldn't pay him that much money. Not because, listen, when you are going into a contract negotiation, you always have to negotiate off of what you have. He missed games. He is a running quarterback. Sometimes he is inaccurate throwing the ball. And with all that said, he still wins games.
Regular season games.
You have to win regular season games to get to the playoffs, Alfredo.
Okay, but what's the point? When you get to the playoffs, then you choke. This has been the second time in his career that the Ravens had the number 1 seed, and they did not even made the Super Bowl. The last time when they were number 1, they lost in the divisional round against the Titans. But then this was his best chance to win it all. Baltimore beat 11 teams that were over 500 during the regular season. They were a dominant force. And Lamar Jackson, all he needed to do was just carry that team, and he couldn't do it. And that's why he is a fraudster. He's fake, and I would not want to have him as my quarterback of my team. Actually, I'll tell you this. Give me Brock Purdy over
Oh
Lamar.
my! I think you lost your mind. Okay,
No?
let's put it like this. MVP conversation: Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson.
Hey, Brock Purdy was in contention. He was there.
Who would you
Give me
give it
Brock Purdy. He still scrambles. You saw the game yesterday. In
to?
clutch moments, he threw the ball accurate. I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback. But if you give me Lamar Jackson or Brock Purdy, give me Brock Purdy.
Bro. Okay, how about this? Lamar Jackson for MVP or CMC?
Christian McCaffrey.
At least there we agree.